being here. Beyond the bedroom, which is what we represent, is an intimacy and relationship education conference. And with that, we also have monthly classes. But these classes are designed to provide education that people haven't gotten in the world for saving their relationships. There's such a large amount of divorce right now in the world. I mean, over 50%. I've actually seen as high as 70%, depending on how you actually look at the statistics. But part of the reason for that is because people haven't been taught some of these very basic skills on how to communicate, how to be intimate in their relationships, things like that. So this is what we teach in this big weekend, or it's a weekend-long class that we do. And we bring in presenters from all over, mostly the Denver, Boulder area, but all over the United States as well. And so my name is Dr. Dan, so I go by for these classes. This is my partner, Elizabeth Wood, also my love partner on these classes. And so we're going to talk about the 5 love languages today. And since you said you've heard about the 5 love languages on Oprah, you know that it's pretty mainstream. And it's just some very basic stuff that a lot of us just don't intuit. So we'll talk a little bit more about that.
Great. Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay, good. Okay. My background is a software engineer with an MBA, and I have started companies. I'm an entrepreneur. And when I reached 40, I met the woman who became my second wife, and she introduced me to the world of Tantra. I didn't know this even existed. And once she did that, being the engineer, I wanted to learn more, so I really started to delve into it and learned there's just so much that's out there that really isn't taught to us, especially from high school on. You know, it's a lot of experimentation, it's a lot of fumbling around in the dark, and I've never been taught any kind of relationship type skills. You know, I've just kind of gone muddling through my life, and I've had communication from a business perspective, but that really doesn't work in relationships. And Elizabeth?
So enter me. I am a relationship expert. I started really focusing on couples after I finished my graduate program as a social worker. So I talked to couples about how to, of course, separate, but that's never as much fun as how to stay connected. And I really found that I had more enjoyment when the couples were in love, but they just didn't know how to. Our 3 kids just left. We haven't touched in 5 years. So that was way more fun for me, and I didn't feel so depleted when I was working with couples who really wanted to explore intimacy. So I went into a training program where I learned the skills to talk about sex in my practice. So I'm a sex therapist, which quite often doctors aren't talking about it. I bet all you nurses are. But a lot of doctors, they have their own issues, male or female. Well, I had 3 gynecologists independently come through my practice, and it's like, you know the body, yet they didn't know their own bodies. So I think we're a really good team because he brings kind of the mad scientist in, like he figures out why all these different things work, and I really help bridge the couple, either if they're just starting or if they're wanting to start over and new. We totally together teach the skills to just really open up from this space. So and then it's for me, it's a trickle-down effect from here down. So, okay, that's a little introduction again.
There we go. So this is us. One of the things that we've uncovered is that psychologists have concluded that the need to feel love is a primary emotional need. So if you're familiar with Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you know, it's fairly high up there.
I'm a practitioner, so yeah.
Oh, okay, good.
The primary questions is how do we each experience love? So Dan and I are newly married. We've been in a relationship almost 2 years. And I just couldn't figure out, like, I clean up after him. I do this. I take care of that. Why doesn't he even think for one moment to pick up some of his own laundry? Well, he doesn't care. That's not the way that he, like, feels loved. So all of my time, effort, and energy in, like, cleaning up after him because it's one of my needs, he was like, so, I mean, I would get my thank yous, but I was like, wow, how come he's not noticing?
Yeah, and it's not that I don't appreciate it, because I certainly do.
Definitely appreciates it. But the whole point is it's not his primary love language. So, I mean, I'm pretty skilled at this, and I was like, oh, I better ask him what his is. So they're very different. The way that I give love is definitely different than the way I'm going to receive it. So that's why these 5 skills are so valuable.
Time, I guess.
So quality time together is how you feel I'm expressing
how us
love?
as a team express love? I'm like,
No. So what I want to know right now is how you as an individual actually expresses love. Like I have a friend who feels like when he's actually having sex with his partner that he's expressing love. Now, she doesn't always get that. She thinks, well, you just want to have sex. You really don't care about love. But that's how he's expressing his love for her. And when she doesn't return that, then he doesn't feel loved.
Words of affirmation are the encouraging words. Like, I know you have a meeting this afternoon. I really hope you do well. I'll be thinking of you. Encouragement to our partners. They make sense up here once we read them, but they don't necessarily always stay with us, especially when there are times of tension. But kind words. I'm so happy that you came to this event with me. I
There aren't
appreciate.
many men that are coming here today, and you showed up. That's demonstrating something.
It means a lot to me. Those kinds of things. Kind words and humble words, such as, any humble words like, "I really love you. Today you just touched my heart." Anything that really is vocalizing what the feeling state is. It's being expressive. So those are words of affirmation.
And that's not to say that, we're looking at these 5 love languages, and there's people that resonate usually with one primarily, like this is my top one, but it's not to say that all of them don't apply for you at some point in time. It may be at differing times of the day or year or month or whatever, but they all, they're all valuable to know and learn.
So I'll tell a very quick story about that. I was talking to my friend today about what we were doing. I said, we're teaching one of our classes, and she said, oh, which one? Because she knows how many we teach. And I said, we're actually teaching the 5 love languages today. And she said, I gave my husband the book after I read it. And she said, he didn't realize that you really only focus on one. And I said, well, what did you do? She goes, I knew what he was doing. He utilized all 5. And then she thought, I can't keep going on like this. So she finally sat him down. She said, honey, I so appreciate that you're rotating through the 5 love languages. I can tell you've paid attention and are really focused, but you only have to pick one. And he's like, oh, well, that just lightened my load. But she was so appreciative of it, and it was just, he was really quite demonstrative, and it really brought them together. They were able to laugh about it. And so she's like, I don't know if I should have told him because he doesn't clean up, But anyway, so that was just today my story.
so is it as a person that people usually inherently or learn their language of love, and it is just like one of these 5 categories? Or
Well, what they found, it's like an archetype. They found that we each resonate with one. We all have the component of all 5, but you, as a nurse practitioner, that's what you're doing all day. So I would say that that's in your genetic coding.
Yeah, and I would say this, it's kind of like food. There's a certain food that you really like and is your favorite food, and that changes from time to time, sometimes, maybe. I think that's the same thing here. This is what resonates to me in this moment of my life. This is what I really want. Words of affirmation really felt good. I think that there probably is a lot of our upbringing that might play into this. If my mother gave me lots of words of affirmation and I really felt nurtured and loved by her as I was growing up, then that's probably going to be one of my higher love languages that I enjoy. And it could even be the opposite too. I didn't get a lot of that as a kid, and I wanted that. I sought that out, and I really didn't get a lot of it. That may be one that I want now. So if my partner is giving me those words of affirmation, I'm really feeling more love. So it just, it kind of depends on the makeup of who you as an individual is. The key to all of this is knowing which one you prefer right now and here, and which one he prefers right now and here. And then you can give to him, and he can give to you the ones that work for you. So for example, she was talking about doing the special deeds. My first wife would do something for me, and I wouldn't even notice. It was nice, I appreciated it, but it was like, thanks. If you didn't do it, I would have been just as happy. She got very upset with me because I wasn't really appreciative. I mean, I was appreciative, but not like wow, honey, I'm so thankful that you did that for me. Let's take you out to dinner or something like that. And she would get really upset with me. But my love language was not doing those little acts of kindness. My love language is more spending quality time. And for me, spending quality time can be just being in the same room together reading a book or watching a movie. But for her, it wasn't that. Hers was actually doing an act of kindness. So I needed to learn to do acts of kindness for her in that moment, where she was doing more of the other things for me. Make sense?
Yeah.
So quality time, one of my favorite ones. I love to spend time with my partner. It can be, and we spend all of our time together pretty much. We work together, we work in the home together. I will do things, go out of my way to spend time with her doing just simple little things.
Shopping.
I will even go shopping. I don't enjoy shopping. I hate shopping, but I enjoy being with her when we go. And especially if she's excited about something. If she sees some clothes, she's, oh yeah, this is great. And she goes running off to get it. And I'm sitting there like, why don't they have a chair for me to sit down and at least I can bring my phone now and play with it.
But he does it, and it makes me feel like he appreciates something that I enjoy. So undivided, the key components are, it's undivided attention. So reading a book, I would prefer, because of my background, maybe reading that book together. If there's something that you both, the Harry Potters, my sister and her husband, because they're both that type of junkie, they love that science fiction, they would read chapter to chapter. The sitting together at a movie, that's not undivided attention and focus toward each other. So if it were something like studying something together or going into an art museum, those types of things.
Planning a vacation together.
That's all undivided attention. Doing things with your partner, that's pretty self-explanatory. That undivided and focused attention are the same things. Quality conversations, not how was your day today, what's the weather tomorrow, what time is it, things like that. Whatever area of interest that you can both dive down deep into, that's what we mean when we say quality conversation. And also quality activities. Things like, this is a quality activity, you're planning your wedding. So it's not just that you're going to the grocery store together, but you're coming and you're, number one, learning because you're sitting in our classroom, but you're also exploring together what might make your wedding more spectacular for the two of you. So that's a quality activity. That's how I would define quality activity. Okay?
Okay, good. Move on.
Yes. Receiving gifts. This is one that so many women seem to favor. I could care less. I mean, I love it when he goes out of his way to find something that he knows that I'm really interested in, but just giving me, he doesn't, but giving me a necklace or giving me a new dress or giving me a new CD. Thank you, But it's not my love language, but a lot of women really, really stick with this one, the ones that always get the new bling. I'm pretty picky, I'm pretty particular. So that's why it's more fun when he actually hunts that out, knowing what my needs and my desires are. But otherwise, this isn't one of my favorites.
Nor mine. Not that I don't mind receiving gifts every once in a while, but
His new shirt. That was a gift.
yeah.
So basically what they do is they let the recipient know that you're thinking of them and they are a symbol of that thought. Here's a ring, here's a necklace, here's a shirt. They're visual symbols of love. Valentine's Day, the gift giving. They come in all shapes, sizes, packages, and colors, as we all know. It could be a big old car with a bow on it, or it could be something as simple as the new vacuum that you both wanted. Also be your time and attention. So those gifts are those coupons of whatever it might be to spend that back to the quality time together. That's also a gift of just your time and energy. So that's receiving gifts. Acts of service, we know this well. So,
Yeah, so doing things you know that your partner would like you to do, something that you go out of your way to do. Not just something like, oh, I'm going to go clean the bathroom because I need to clean it up, it's messy and I want it to be clean, but something that she really wants done, that I go out of my way. Like I walk the dog. Every morning, I'm the one who takes the dog out, go to the bathroom, I take her to the park.
I do it in the summer.
Yeah, it was warm. Yeah, so it's cold out, I put on my coat, my hat, and all that. Now, that isn't really what I would call an act of service. It's more when I do something kind of out of the normal that's specifically for her. Like I take her car out to get it washed, something like that. Or I step and do laundry, something that I don't normally do. I know she's frustrated or super busy. She's focused on something like doing her income taxes or something like that. Then I go in and I do the laundry, or I cook dinner, or something along those lines. Something that's out of the ordinary and takes a little bit of effort on my part that's specific to her that I know she's gonna like.
And I say thank you.
Oh yeah, so one of the things that you can do is actually make requests as well, not demands. So it's the big difference when you say, I need you to cook dinner for me, as opposed to, honey, I'm really busy right now. Would you mind cooking dinner for us tonight? Because I don't have time for it. Yeah, honey, I'm happy to do that. That'd be great.
Right.
So those kinds of things.
Oh, and so as Dan was saying, those demands really stop. I need you to. You must. It really stops that flow of positive energy. So that's the last point on this one. Regret number 5.
Touch. Now this is a popular one. It definitely is for me as well. When we sleep in bed, we're almost always touching some way, even if it's just on my knee, I'll lay sideways and my knee will be touching her, just so I've got some kind of a connection to her.
Unless I'm like, I have a hot flash right now. Which
yeah, that happens too. But that's understandable. That's something that she's pushing me away because she doesn't want me around her.
We have a queen size bed, yet you're always over here, honey. But when I really realized that was something that really felt comfortable to him, I was so appreciative. But I was like, he is a bed hog. And then he explained, no, I just like to be near you. I see some laughs and grins here. So the studies, babies who are held, hugged, and kissed develop a healthier emotional life. We never lose that. Just the holding and the touch in a physical way that doesn't have to lead to anything sexual.
Mm-hmm.
This is the bond that glues us together. Just that touch. So babies you would know this well, babies who are grew up in orphanages that aren't touched, they flounder, they don't flourish. So we still in relationship want each other to flourish. So touch for touch, and not necessarily only sexual touch, because eventually it's gonna be like, versus a simple caress. You did a great job. I was really proud of you today. Stuff like that.
Well, the touch also releases oxytocin and dopamine in our bloodstream. So that, it's a feel-good drug and a connection bonding drugs in our bodies. So, but it's not the sexual thing. I mean, the sexual is fine too, good, but obviously you can't walk down the street being sexual with each other.
Well, you can hold hands.
But we hold hands, exactly.
Right, it's a powerful vehicle for communicating our love. We all know that. Tactile receptacles are located all throughout our body, not just our erogenous zones. So we can stay away from the genitals because those are highly sexualized, but we can massage and ask your partner. Again, I don't necessarily like the squeezing. Dan's a big muscular person. He likes the squeezing. I like the feathered touch. We have found that we most often touch the way we like to receive, the same as the love language. We give out our love language most often the way we like to receive it. So ask your partner, how do you like to be touched? Show your partner, this is how I like to be caressed. Not like this because I want to just scream, it's so ticklish. But show your partner how you like, and use words, use murmurs, and then say, that's not my favorite. I understand this might be yours, but I prefer the longer strokes. Okay, and lastly, again, we talked very much about the sexual, not very much, but really differentiate between your sexual and your sensual and your encouraging touch. That's really important, especially for us women, because if we feel our partners are only touching us when they want sex, we're not going to touch. We're going to touch less and less. So if every once in a while it's like, hey, you did well, or just an embrace, that really helps us feel safe enough to then explore our sexuality together when we want to.
And when we're filled, then our lives are going to be better in general. We're happier with each other, we're willing to play with each other a little bit more. When those bumps in the road do come up, they're a lot smoother than the big, drop off the cliff kind of thing and then crash. So these 5 different languages that we're talking about here, the words of affirmation, quality time, receiving gifts, acts of service, physical touch. Like we said, all of these are different for all of us. I mean, they may be the same for the 2 of you or you guys, but they may be different as well. And we only have a limited amount of time today to talk about these. But in some of the classes that we teach, we can talk about how you can determine which one is for you. Which one do you like? One of the really quick and easy ones is find out what you like the least.
Yes.
And then the opposite of that is probably going to be what is your primary love language. And it's good to communicate that with each other. So you understand that. You might, been together for a while, you might know that. But, I would explore it. And don't always assume that it's always going to be the same, because it'll change over time.
It's kind of fun to re-explore them at every anniversary. If I broke my leg, you better believe that act of service is going to be more important in that moment as I recover than gift giving. So they will change depending on circumstances. So we're done. We're out of time.
Was
It's
there
very
any questions
short.
you have?
Yeah.
No, it's great. So now, is this based on a theory or a book? You said
It's
there was
based
a
on
book.
the gentleman's name is Gary Chapman.
Huh?
He's very well known
Okay.
at marriage counselors. It's one of the most, it's the least complex, and it's so easy to pick up and start utilizing after the first chapter. So it's a staple in any marriage counselor or relationship counselor's office.
Okay.
So, and Gary's huge. He's written that you read the one for children. How do you
Teens.
express words of affection of kids or find their love language? So he's expanded greatly since the explosion of this book. It's been around probably close to 20 years.
Wow.
Gary Chapman is his name.
Cool.
Anything else?
Thank you.
Wow, that's good.
Well,
Alright,
thanks
great.
for venturing in.
So how long have you been married?
We got married 2 months ago. We got married February 9th. We've known each other 2 years, so it's first husband, final wife.
This is my third.
Nice.
Your third.
Third and final marriage.
Nice.
So we have different skill sets than when he got married at 20 something. We're both turning 50 this
24
year,
is my first
so
marriage.
there's a lot more communication in this relationship than he had in his last 2 months.
Yeah.
So
Well, you hope that we've learned things down the road
Yeah.
to make it the last, right?
Yeah.
and
Well,
these
and that's
are all
what our
tools.
event's about too. Yeah, Beyond the Bedroom, we provide. Last year we had about 50 presenters that were talking about everything ranging from the 5 love languages to nonviolent communications, to the more intimate side of things. How do you connect with your partner in bed? Those kinds of skills as well. So we're trying to provide a sampling for people to what is going to work for them or what they need to know the most, and then they have that expert that they can then go talk to for more information.
In a very safe, non-judgmental attitude, because I have no idea what's going to turn you on. The only person that I know is me, and I'm working to explore that with and through my partnership with my husband. But who's to say that this will work for everyone? So we give a sampling of everything that's available with no judgment. These are fact-based educators who simply share their area of expertise with the general public. And then, as Dan said, afterward, if you have any questions or want any resources, you have the local expert to go and talk to. And we think that's a much safer and healthier environment than the way most Americans get their sex education. Of the internet. It's fine for education, recreation, but not for education. So that's what Beyond the Bedroom tries to do.
It's fine for education as long as you understand that it's fine for recreation as long as you understand that it is purely a fantasy that that's being created. It's not realistic. So yeah.
So that's what we do.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank
All
you.
right, well, thank you guys. Appreciate it.
it.
Enjoy the rest
And-
of the show.